to another coaching video, and in this one we have a silver Diana versus a silver Wukong, and we're going to see, is every game truly unwinnable? Now normally we focus on, 25 to 35 minutes. We have had one 40-minute one, which is a little painful, so I'm not going to do those too often, but a lot of the time, silver junglers end up with these games. Look at this nice ward from the Mordekaiser, and you think basically, look, my bottom lane entered, my top lane entered, my mid lane entered. I couldn't do anything. Let's see if that's actually true here. I'm not going to say anything. You'll notice it very, very quickly. But there are a lot of things we can do to mitigate games that kind of seemingly snowball against us. And basically all you're left with is the 22, 25-minute loss thinking, that was quick, I couldn't do anything, which is almost rarely the case in Silver. In addition to the free Jungle Improvement PDF available on Virkayu.gg, there are also copious amounts of courses and coaching for your specific MMR. One of those is the Iron and Bronze course, which allows you to get to Silver, along with a Silver course that allows you to get Gold, a beautiful bundle of everything you need to escape ELO hell. In Bronze and in Silver, the video course will basically deconstruct why you do what you do and how to fix those things that are holding you back. Why spend hundreds of hours figuring out what it takes to become a gold jungler, when instead you can have all of the information distilled directly into your veins, such that you can have it in a few weeks. That sounds pretty good to me if you can apply the principles that quickly. Head to Virkayu.gg, the jungler's learning paradise. So we're gonna go Red Crux Raptors here. You can see here the red team warded that brush right there, which is very important when you're trying to push up. Look, he's pushing up here. The next wave, should he be detected, he'll tank that, right? So you're just going ahead, you're farming your Raptors. Hopefully you're looking at this lane. This lane is this gankable here, especially this lane, because you know Jace is gonna shove against the Mordekaiser. And then you look down, you're like, why is Veigar trapped in the alcove versus a Draven Malphite? And you look at this, you're going, okay. And now the exhaust goes through, the flash goes through, she has nothing left, she Qs, it hits the minions, now they're taking the minions, the vision is giving them, look at all the damage the minions are doing, and the Draven's just free hitting them because they're all chasing the Malphite. So you look at that and you're like, yeah, okay, that wasn't great at all. And in the meantime, you look at this, you're like, hey, could I do something about this? Why is it important that we think about those things? Because we're Wukong, we're not Diana. Who clears faster in the full clear, Diana or Wukong? Well, stereotypically a Diana should, but look at this. What did I say, or what do I say in most scenarios when it comes to early game jungling? Punish this. You know straight up as a Wukong that she's going to full clear, because that's what she does. She's a full clearing jungler. Are you a full clearing jungler? We could be, but they keep nerfing it because we're not meant to be. We're meant to be a 5 camper, a 3 camper, into action, into tempo advantage, into snowballing, a fisting and fighting and skirmishing. You know, you're doing your blue and you decide, hey, I want to gank for suppy, fluffy Mordekaiser on the top side. Why can't we red side quadrant into this gank before the Diana is even able to get to like red Krugs? And then you know what, you could leverage that into an invade, although you'd have to pay attention to the prior you have or don't have. But worst case scenario, you have this to fall back to. You could always cut sooner here, but then again, why are we doing the Krugs? Maybe we could 5 camp up and try and get in that. Or as you saw, perfectly invadable. And most of the time in Silver, it is perfectly invadable. So while you cannot control the monkey behavior of your bottom laners, we can control the monkey behavior of ourselves and maybe turn that into ape behavior such that we can be the gorilla to the monkeys. Now what happens is obviously we're going to do the blue. We're going to do the gromp. We're going to look at this and be like, okay, cool. We ping. Well done, sir. You ping at 324. The Diana's finishing a full clear. Great. So you were thinking about it. You just decided not to do anything about it, right? We're going to finish the gromp. We're going to move into the river here. We're going to hit the plant down. Why would you hit the plant down? If you predict a full clear, why would she loop back this way? Who does that? 99% it's going to be looping down. So you want to hit it up to check 1, if there's any vision, and 2, is Diana even there? What would we see? Oh, Diana's right here, low HP, half HP. Oh, I could have invaded it. You know what? Now she's there for this, anticipating I'm going to be arriving for this. And basically what he says is, cool, let me go and fight for the Scuttle Crab. He's running at Diana with no prio on the top side. No prio on the top side. Now, Cassio doesn't have prio, but decides, hey, I'm going to play around my jungler, which is the coin flip. But at the end of the day, should you be fighting for the Scuttle Crab? Because if you hit it up, you'd see the Diana and go, no, actually, I'm going to give you that, leave straight for this. Now we're going to meet, but now I have itemization advantage and I still have prio on the bot side. You see what I'm saying? The worst case scenario here is you go fight a Scuttle Crab at 342 and die. When you shouldn't, because we saw the Cassio move. We know that Jace can come on down. We're not in a position to do anything about it. We lose our flash, obviously, and we will tick. Or do we live? Do we live? No, we don't, because we kite. Keep working on your mechanics, children. Please. There should be no reason as Diana we have to flash in that scenario, but hey, You know what? Flash for the kill rather than flash, miss the Q, and don't get the kill. 100%. It's obviously the best play. So now she's going to go to this. You've left your laners alone here now. You've given the Cassio an assist. Yes, she's lost a lot of pressure mid lane, but of course it's silver, so she's only down 2 CS. You're going to leave the base here with a longsword plus a dagger instead of, you know, Sheen or something, but it do be that way sometimes. And now basically the Diana's going to cross across the mid lane, and the Veigar shows up here with his Event Horizon, forces the cleanse from the Cassiopeia level 2 instead of going to the bottom side. And now we're going to Krugs because we have to give this up. So all of this was within our control. The bottom lane? No. The bottom lane was not in our control. This is just life. We all know this. I sympathize with you. I've been there. When I'm playing Zyra level 2, I will help you guys. I will get this prior, and I will not trade and die level 2 to a Draven Malphite in a minion wave where I'm tanking everything. I can promise you that's my pledge to all junglers. And then I'll roll with you with the invade on the second spawn romp cap because I use my range advantage for prio. That's good bottom laning, but you're not going to have that in silver. So how do you play around it? Well, first and foremost, shut down the Diana by yourself. Gank the lane before she shows up. Don't do this at all, right? Not at all. Just leave if you don't think you can contest it, especially if Cassio moves. Like, I know we saw the Vlad, but you're splitting it. Jace has prio, Vlad has prio. If Cassio moves and Jace moves, you're outnumbered. And we saw the Cassio move immediately, so the worst case is like, well, shit, I'm out. Just leave. The best thing you can do. And then try and leverage that down here. Because if you can get this and chop off this with like a double longsword Sheen, whatever, then you can, of course, go ahead and translate that to a bottom lane gank. However, you see this? You see this? Okay. I have to pause it for dramatic effect. We have the Veigar level 2 gank with a Wukong level 2 gank. The Veigar goes in too soon, gets immediately sniped by the Noon Quiver Draven, and now we're going in on a Malphite with a longsword and a dagger. We are able to get a kill, which is nice. But Diana was seen crossing mid lane going to the bottom scuttle, so we know she's rotating down. And again, the biggest problem is, as Diana goes in here and, you know, now doesn't have a flash to maybe overcommit to this, but we see this. We know this. We go for this. The problem? That's a fat-ass wave. That is a modern League of Legends wave right there. That is a wave that's so fat it could be an Instagram with its own profile. It's really big, and you don't want to go in and tank the whole wave. Like, you kill the Malphite. That's great. Good job. But now you die. Now Draven's 4-0-0. End of story. If Draven was 4-0-0 because he killed the Veigar and the Kaiser again, and now you're doing Krugs, Raptors, and ganking mid lane, snowballing the Vlad upward, the Dyna's just bottom lane here, you're like, boom, boom, you take this, then you dive this guy, then we slurp back over to the blue side, you know, tasty drinks, and go back to base. Okay, you know, bottom lane's ahead, but I helped mid lane, I counter jungled, I fed myself, I helped top lane, I get 2 out of 3 lanes rolling. Maybe we can scale up nicely with the Vladimir. But in reality, what happened was he's doing it himself. But in reality, what happened was, why? Hold on a second. Websites are free. Websites are free for builds, you know. High elo players, they're free too. You can you can just copy. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel with your builds in silver. Just play a consistent build that works, that wins, that makes sense, and there you go. Because now we're not testing or jungling a Wukong knowledge. We're changing our itemization every game, and it's too many variables, and we never get any sense of what is good and what isn't. And obviously our jungling sucks in this particular case, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Now, you're thinking, okay, look, but Draven's 4-0-0. Yes, but he was 2-0-0 because of the bottom lane, and now he's 4-0-0 because of you, right? At worst, he's 3-0-0 because of the Veigar, and now he's just completely pushed out. Like, they're not going to win this lane at all. This is absolutely doomed. You have to basically giga chill and scale, and all we've done is do Krugs, die, come out of base, do this, go bottom lane again. We're trying to stumble the bottom lane, and we're going for a coin flip dragon, knowing that Diana does this, crosses into this, comes down here. And now, obviously, now we don't have a good idea of necessarily where she is exactly, because obviously we see the Grump here, level 4, that stuff. She's taking the Wolves. This here is level 5, and this will be level 5 as well. So she's taking 1 camp on a second rotation. You cannot track the randomness of a silver jungler just doing Wolves and coming for Dragon. You cannot. But what we do know is a tendency from all the courses that I do, that they love to just go for Dragon. So you can use that against her, because most likely she's going to either do the Grump Wolves and just sequence up again and give you a free dragon. But unless I know that categorically, I'm not going to coin flip it. And usually you would know it categorically if, for example, none of that stuff happened. Because if she just did a full clear, did this, you saw her go back to base, she didn't show up, you know, at this point she shows up top lane, like, oh, okay, cool, now I can snag the dragon. But we have no information whatsoever. He decides for some peculiar reason to basically say, look, I'm going to coin flip this dragon, go over the wall. I don't know why you would do this with a Hearthbound Axe when you know that you have no prior. Okay, mid is obviously the one thing that we don't have to worry too much about, as we would have seen here because she's in base. But, like, I understand the need to correct this losing lane. But if you just didn't int it in the first place, you could be doing something else to gain advantages. For example, boom, 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 boom. You see Diana, boom, boom. As I said, well, ideally we cut in there, but who knows? Different things could happen. Point is, you know, this is up and this is up. No way she's down here otherwise. Especially seeing as she was just crossing for 32 CS. She's taking 1 CS in the bottom lane with 33. Because remember, full clear, 24. 1 scuttle, 28. 2 scuttles, 32. CS, 1, 33. Now, of course, she does a wolf cam. It comes to the bottom river here, 37. And you see there, 37 on your screen. So this kind of baseline tracking, in the course I kind of cover like exactly how to track, but I do have free videos on this channel. Just search tracking. They can help explain it a little slower for you as well. But like, there's no reason for us to go for this. There's nothing on the map here that we can necessarily contest. And you're looking at it like, well, you know, maybe I could do something with the Vladimir here has not based other than Dark. He hasn't based. You got 1400 cash money gold. He's level 6. He doesn't want to fight a damn dragon. Who cares about this? Give it to her. Give it to her. Because she gets this +4. You're doing this and killing this guy. You know, with your Mordekaiser. Snowball your Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser snowballed. Vlad snowballed. Wukong snowballed. You all together can deal with a fed Draven, right? You really can. But now what's happening is we have no prior. Now we're just going flipping the steal. Okay? We go and we don't even get it. Veigar shows up level 3. Level 3. You're forcing your bot lane to rotate for this level 3 instead of just saying, hey, oh, just farm, guys. Get experience farm. If they want to go help on the dragon and give you some catch-up XP from the minions, then that's great. Now, Vlad goes back to basic. Cassio sees this. Now she gets the free roam prior because she sees this. Because of your pressure, we put down the event horizon. Obviously, the bottom lane of the stage are going back to base. So she is roaming not so good. And the Wukong now has done a full clear. And 2 camps. And it's 726. Horrific. No efficiency. And now we're cutting down to our red. And again, I made this in the... I've talked about this for years. For years. The tendency of silver junglers, the obsession over dragons, hitting my microphone, and going to red buffs. Just leave it, man. Because at this point, if you've done this, seen her, you go this, you dive this one, you know, like, this would be in the flow of your decision making. Like, you wouldn't have to think about, hey, should I go to my blue side or should I go to the red buff? You'd just be thinking, hey, my Krugs and Raptors are spawning, my red is spawning, how nice. Because that's how it works out. The good part, I think, gets rewarded. Now, this absolute minion IRL is just, like, he's not doing anything. He's screwed. But he's also screwed because of you, right? Oh, look, Diana shows up, pushes a ward down. We went from flexing a potential outside-in rule, getting this Scuttle Crab, getting this quadruple control, looking for this. Because now, if you were here, could we fight this if we were 6? Right? Could we fight this right now? Hell yeah, we could. I anticipate the Malphite goes to the bottom lane, okay, at this particular stage. We're chilling in the bush. We don't know that 100%, but it's very common that they all show bottom lane. And again, of course, in this particular case, you'll see him. Here we go. He did show up bottom lane, so we know this. He's going to sit in the bottom lane bush. She knows this. We see this. We see this from the Veigar here. That's on the radar. Yeah. This is a free fight. If we had just played properly, she would have no camps. She'd only have a red. She'd be venturing to take this. We would be on this already. We'd be 6. We kill her. 4v2. We take this. Cool. Now, do I want to snowball this guy and dive this? Or do I want to use it to maybe correct bottom lane? And now we could, because we are strong enough to 3v2 with our gold lead and then use a Herald to give the cash money back to the Kai'Sa on a pendulum. And the Draven's like, well, so much for that. Now, obviously, in this case, that's a lot of trust, but she's keeping up decently in CS considering the lane state. She's only died 1 time. Like, they've only died 3 times, which for me is amazing. Like, you think this looks horrific, and it is, but 3 times death is not so bad at 8 minutes, because we all know the 10 death bot lane at 8 minutes. So at this particular stage, does this game look unwinnable to you at any moment? No. Could the jungler have had a better impact from the Wukong's perspective? Yes. Now Diana decides, hey, look, I'm going to do the Raptors into the top scuttle, into ganking the mid lane. Again, not something I would really worry about if I'm the Diana. Like, I don't care about this. My job is to take this thing and then snowball this guy even harder as Diana's perspective. We see her cut back up, which means I know she's going to the red because she showed with blue. And we can have... Why is she going to the wolves? There we go. Now she's going to the red. Goodness, you see what I'm saying? Like, what is this? So I would have expected, hey, she's going back to the red a little bit. So what would I have done as a Wukong? I would have just gone to the Scuttle Crab here and said, cool, right, what's going on? Maybe I can invade this and kill her if I was strong enough. She doesn't show up. Be like, where is she? Guess I pull the red out and take it away. She shows up, I just kill her. That's the kind of mentality you have to have. Now, the randomness here of her going to this instead of this is just funny. But how do we make that decision in the first place? Well, very easy. Watch this. We're watching her here, watching her here. She goes there, and then she hightails it up. There's no reason to think. If she was going to wolves, she would have kept going that way, right? Because you could just QE over the wall here and then loop back. If she's cutting in, I'm like, oh, she's going for the red. So that's the decision, right? But then she decides, you know what? Actually, I'm going to just do this. You can't account for this stuff. That's the whole point. But the randomness benefits you always when they make a bad decision. When they make the wrong decision, you get a herald. When they make the wrong decision, you get full quadrant control. When they make a wrong decision, you get to invade, kill them, or just steal their buffs. There's always benefits to them making the wrong random decision. It's not going to cost you games. It's not going to cause you to lose because you look at this and you're like, oh, what do I do against that though? Like, she just ganked a pushing top lane. My friends, look at Jace. Look at him. Look at him, nude in his HP. What are we doing? Doing a crop, man. Like, let's go dive this, right? So this kind of camera level is very important. You know, and this is not a low silver game. This is like a silver 2, silver 1 game. People in this game were gold last season. Half of the people in this game were gold 4 last season. Okay? And the Draven's not like some kind of Draven Smurf savant at all. So these windows of recognition show to you very explicitly, and after this, instead of worrying about anything else, she just goes to the crux. Like, she doesn't think, hey, can I go and steal the herald? You know, could I have taken this? What is the Wukong doing? She's not thinking about those things either. They're not thinking about those things at all. Either of them. And the Dyna's just deciding to clear some camps and gank. And that's very simple metric. The very simple process is giving you a huge lead. Whereas the Wukong is not thinking about anything other than let me do my camps. My friend, my son, why are we here? To what end are we here? Oh, they must not get... Like, he's going to get the benefit of a Raptor steal, potentially, but should he? No. Now he's deep in the jungle here, with Hearthbound Axe and a Ruby Crystal versus Sword Boots and a Fiendish Codex. You know, like, is this a fight you want to take as a Wukong with no ult on the Diana? 100% yes. But, you know, like, he doesn't have the itemization nor the... Right? To actually make this play. He's too afraid. He's too afraid to make a play that he should be able to make aggressively PvP-wise, considering that the mid laner is dead, and you have 2v2 potential. Now he's going to go steal the Raptors, obviously. Diana's going to go back in and just kill him. So he, again, has caused the death of his mid laner. Is it the mid laner's fault that the mid laner died? Yes, 100%. But if we just killed the Diana when we should have and could have, now mid laner doesn't die. We kill the Diana with proper itemization and understanding of our champion's mechanics, and we go take this. Now we're just loitering, okay? Loitering and hanging around, and now we see the Mordekaiser going on the Jace, and Diana's like, hey, I should cancel my base and do something about this, because then I can get the Herald and maybe still snowball bot lane. Even though we have all the plates here, so might as well snowball it somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? But the Wukong is just confused, because he has 1,500 in pocket, she has 1,700 in pocket, so she shadowed this, and then went back to base. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like, that's fine, because it shows, even though it's janky, it shows the intent to say, hey, maybe Wukong's here, maybe I can do something. I had a coaching, and I might put this in a main channel video, so keep your eyes out for it, where Kane was counter jungling, was doing his wolves, and the mid laner was shoved up, and we know that, and we knew, Silver as well, that the enemy jungle was here and most likely going to do this. Why? Because we had taken all of her topside camps. I think it was a Diana as well, or an Amumu or something like this. And basically, instead of just shadowing here and sitting outside of Fog of War, inside of Fog of War, outside of Fog of War, out of vision, and kind of positioning ourselves, hey, maybe they will do this, we just went to base on the walls, the Amumu ganked, got the kill of the mid laner, GG. So the Diana's like, oh, maybe I could shadow this, ward moves down to ward, okay, never mind. So that's a worthy time invest, right? Because you're kind of saying, You know, it's only going to cost me 10 to 12 seconds to kind of cover, and if something happens, I can cancel my B. So I like that. Like, again, a little bit more wasted of time, not the whole sequence, but just that little action was kind of nice. It showed for once, hey, let me look up and think about something up before going back to base blindly. I like that. That will get better. The efficiency of that will always get better over time. Now, of course, we have to give this up, because we went back to base, and now the game just looks doomed, right? You're down 5k gold. You've got the Vlad and everyone just roaming up here. The Malphite shows up as well. Diana just crosses over to kind of, again, shadow the scenario. No one's thinking about this giant beetle in the Void Rift hole. And, like, here, basically, when you see this, I like to kind of steal that away. This thing right here. You're not going to fight anything else. So if you have Smite up, quickly snack this away. Clear any vision you need to. Push this up a little bit, and then pull down. Because all it does, at the very least, while they're wasting time chasing this guy over here, it gets you something, denies them something, gets you some denial here, and if they all stay there or they die or whatever, then you get a plate or so, but maybe you can 3v2 the Draven, or 3v1 the Draven, Malphite's here. So you could always snack, shove, rotate, 3v1, shove, counter jungle, escape, loop, reset, boom. Once a doomed game, now less doomed, maybe some possibility. So hopefully follow that kind of train of thought. Mitigating negative situations, it's a specialty. See, he's doing it, but he's doing it a little slow. Like, he should have gone immediately, and what's the most important thing about this? Push it away. Why would you push it up? Push it towards the mid lane so you can take it, chaps this, and immediately move down. If this is not doable, then just go and steal stuff and then, you know, kill him afterwards or dive him afterwards. Either way, acceptance that this part of the map is now on fire. Lava, you can't touch it. You touch it, you die. Well, literally. And then go do something else. You know, like, must stop a violence. Must stop a crime. And why couldn't we just keep the jungle items? What the hell's the point in the pets? Oy. Again, like, we don't think about this either. Like, oh, just wait. Look at this cannon. You know? Look at this. Like, Harrismite's taken this whole wave already. He's taken the next 3 waves. Like, anyone who's a farming jungler in Halo just saw this wave, was like, whew, it's nice. And they would have gone for it. They snack this, they push this, they go counter jungling, and they kill this, and then they fall back to this, maybe even full sequence even more. Then they hold this. You go back to base with like 3k. That would be the Canyon move if he was looking for map control and not limit testing and inting. He does that. I've seen Canyon on Lilia go red Raptors, cross the mid lane, flash into this pit because he knew the enemy jungler was doing red Krugs Raptors and he wanted to time it perfectly. He didn't. It was a solo queue game after he won Worlds and in the preseason, and it was just like, what are you doing? It was quite funny. He does have those moments in solo queue. Really bad, egregious moments like that. I use them in boot camps, like, look at what Canyon does, and look at this bad thing he does, and like, that's Canyon. I'm like, yeah, of course. He's always trying to find things, and that's how you try and find things. But it's within the context of still playing a good game, right? It's like, hey, instead of doing 10 things perfectly, I'm going to do 9 things perfectly and try this one thing, and that's it. It's not limit testing is not a good term and encourages bad behaviors, but hopefully you can understand the context. And now, of course, they go to the mid lane and just kill the Vlad, and we're just looking at the Wukong chatting, which is what he's doing to himself. Probably responding. He probably logs in on his phone on a Discord app and he just talks to himself while he's playing the game. He's not watching the game at all. Vega's holding here 1-3-1. Just go, Divine Sunderer, please. Yeah. So now you look at this game as a whole, okay, and you think, wow, we deconstructed 50 minutes, but Virkayu, they're down 8,000 gold, it's unwinnable. I hope you can see, I truly hope you can see that this game was not unwinnable by any stretch of the imagination. And everyone is just playing a bit like ass. But as the jungler, you had control over so much. Not the Draven, not the Kai'Sa, but so much. Even the Veigar in his little tiny brain cell going here. If we were here as we should have been, dead Diana, free Herald, and now we have this, the gold swing button. The gold swing button. And now Jace is up here, and he's up 105, and now we're gonna do our blue, and then we're gonna do the scuttle crab, and then we're gonna go up to the top lane and think, aha! But no, there's vision everywhere at this particular stage. Ah, suspicious, is he? Also, when you hit this over here, they know you're there, right? Like if you hit this over the minions and over them pushing, they know you're here, so they're gonna back up. Does it happen a lot in silver? No, but it can happen, so why do it, right? Now we're gonna go for our wolves, and Vlad's like, can I suck those wolves? And then you're like, no, they're my wolves, and he's like, well, you are jungle diff, and everyone's arguing over juvenile nonsense, and Diana's just swinging in your jungle, and you're like, okay, well, you guys can swing down there as much as you want. I'm gonna go and swing with your top laner. Just overcommit entirely. And now we'll lose a Dragon Fort. Malphite ults and kills the Vladimir. And now you're thinking, guys, it's okay, it's winnable. And now I'm looking at this going, yes, in theory, this game is still winnable. But it's basically a situation where it's like, hey, I probably wasted way too much of the good opportunities I had for it to actually be winnable right now. But if it were to be winnable right now, and you see 14,000 people here and Diana go and take the dragon, and you flash and kill the Yace and say, haha, good night, son. Push this. Take this, take this, take this, cut this, take this, disappear into the night because you know you're going to get swooped on, back to base. A second example of, hey, I accept this demise on the bottom side, let me get as much as I can, because if I truly believe this is remotely winnable, that's a mechanism to get me some influx of cash, a good offer for my gym, and people sign up for the extra functions. I now have cash to buy the new machines, and maybe with the new machines, I can become strong enough to go ahead and actually do something about this fight. Unlikely in this particular case, but you understand my meaning, right? Get yourself as strong as possible, and then try, and then just try. Malphite forced to flash out. Vlad's going. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Like the problem is he doesn't have his ult, right? So the Vlad shouldn't necessarily think, haha, it's free. But if you're the Wukong, and you look at the state of the game here, you know that Diana took this and she hasn't shown back up. Most of the time in this particular case, this is the Diana's fault. This is huge. They fall back to this, go back to the jungle camps in sequence, and they leave their whole team pushing as foursome, and then 5-stack comes on down here and just kills shut down, and you're like, guys, we should have left. But no. Why aren't you still here pushing this and just shadowing? Because, yes, you'll want to reset, because yes, you guys probably have a shit ton of gold in pocket. You know, well, she has $2 grand, but you know, the rest of them are okay. Like it's not terrible. You know, you have a 6K gold lead effectively. So we could have very easily just shadowed this and made a good fight and won. From the Wukong's perspective, you should recognize that is not here, hasn't shown up again. Maybe I should just be flanking with my Vlad even without ultimate. Maybe I can do something, smite something. Maybe we can do something in this moment. And this is where you decide, is the game winnable, or do we give up? Okay, cool. So, no, not winnable. See, that's the moment. The 5v4 trigger pull. In a losing game where absolutely nothing is going right and they haven't reset, you got 2k on Diana, 1k on the Draven. Now we can make a play, right? And we chose not to. And again, like the Diana, goes off to farm in the distance, leaving his team. Vlad is pushing mid lane. Like here now, be with the Vlad, right? He has tissue paper autos. You see everyone down here. Okay, shove, 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 shove. Let's go. And what's going to happen is Diana probably comes up and holds if she doesn't go down. And if she does go down, then we just shove again. And now you've got a map. It's decompressed. They have Fog of War. Now you can do things with it, right? So even in a Doom scenario, this game had potential for a low percentage, granted, comeback. Do I always want to fight those comebacks? No, I don't. But this wouldn't be happening because we'd be shoving this together. This would be down. We get the bounty. Again, bounty huge. Now he dies because we're farming. So as soon as you leave the scenario and you see them stay, cut in with the Vlad, push a turret. Turret damage is huge. That's the juice for your stats. Now she takes this and pushes this down. We're not going to go into a jungle where we know it was warded and everyone could be available, but it doesn't matter. We'll coin flip it. Now maybe we can go and kill the Draven. I swear he thinks he can. He cannot, but he'll think he can. Kraken, i.e. Bloodthirster, Berserker's Draven. Guy could build whatever the hell he wanted and just auto-win the game. Now she goes ahead and snacks the Baron away. Cassiopeia is a very strong champion to have. You can easily do this, by the way. I like this a lot. She just does it with a Malphite. As I've been saying for years, this is a paper monster. This is nowhere near as strong as it should be. Like, they don't even need the Cassio. But look at this. 20 minutes on the dot. We have the pressure to take the Baron. Great job by the Diana. Terrible decision to kind of ditch her team, I think. I know she wanted to reset, but it's kind of like, hey, can we take the turret and get out before the Wukong comes back to base? I'm not basically saying, hey, we should fight this with 2k in pocket. I'm just saying, in this scenario, can we do something and then force our team to leave and help them disengage? There's an art to that kind of give and take. Obviously, in this game, it didn't really matter as much, but I don't like when junglers kind of do this and fall back. Wukong as well. You're just taking your hands off, no control. So it's not an exact science like do this, but fluid concept, right? Now, obviously, this is great. I love this trigger pull on the Baron. We see the monkey out of position, so basically we'll miss our Q. Malphite's waiting for the monkey just in case he can hit it. What's his name? Mordekaiser rotates over with a nice little hook. The Kaiser's forced to flash out. The Vladimir's holding versus the Draven. We hit the plant. Fortunately, it's this Chemtech map, which means we get stretched out vision control. But it looks like we're just one fight away from doom and gloom. Malphite ults and kills the Veigar, who's once more shown his brainlet activity. Wukong's like, I take the Raptors. The game is over. I blame my bot lane. No. 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 Did your team not play well? Yes, but I don't think you can say anything at all from itemization to pathing for your performances in this particular game. So every game is not always winnable, my friends, but these kind of games are not unwinnable. You follow? So hopefully that was a nice deconstruction of what might seem like a game in your match history that you write off to 20% never winnable. This is definitely a game that was winnable. Thank you very much for watching. As always, see you all in the next video.